episode of Elevate with Ankara. This is episode number 12, and I will be sharing with you the next garment in the series. But first, if you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're a returning person, thank you so much for your continued support. All right, let's get into it. If you're new to the series, this is a series put together by myself and Talisha of Creativity by T here on YouTube as well as on Instagram. In this series, we are encouraging our sewing friends to elevate basic sewing patterns by using Ankara fabric. Now, in this episode, I'm really excited to be bringing to you the next garment in the series, and it is actually a category where we've lumped some different garments in. And so that would include dungarees, jumpsuits, overalls, aviator suits, or utility suits. Now, I love all of these things, and I've made several of different options of these things in the past, so I'm really excited to see how I can elevate one of the patterns that I'm mentioning to you with Ankara fabric. I'm going to be sharing these things in order from easy to most challenging so that you can have a good range of different options. The first two things that I want to share with you are things that I've made in the past. The first one is the Heyday Dungarees by Waves and Wild, formerly made by Jack's mom. I have made several different versions of these dungarees. I love them a lot. I wear them for work all the time. And part of the reason why is because it's an easy outfit as well as the fact that it has tons of pockets. Okay, I love an outfit with lots of pockets, especially for the type of work that I do. And I have made my Heydays out of Ankara before in the past, and I'll insert a picture so that you can see what my version looks like. And I love these because they have such a fantastic punch of color, and it definitely gives a different look to your basic dungarees. Now, in the version that I've made, I totally chose to tie the straps at the shoulders, which is one of the options in this pattern, but you could also use hardware and create buckles and buttons by using jean buttons to snap at the shoulders like a typical pair of overalls or dungarees, or you can do the tie shoulder, which is what I chose to do based off of the fact that cotton fabric, Ankara fabric, is very lightweight, and I don't like that some buckles would be too heavy and kind of weigh down my overalls, so I thought it would be best to tie them at the shoulders. The version that I made is lovely, and it gets a lot of wear in my closet all year round, but especially in the spring and summer. I highly recommend this pattern, and it is definitely beginner friendly. The next thing that I'll be sharing with you is a picture of the Naomi jumpsuit that I made by the Style Sew Me pattern. Now, while Style Sew Me is not continuing to make patterns, I believe you can still purchase this pattern on Etsy and by other retailers. This was also an easy jumpsuit to make, and it does require you to install an invisible zipper, but it has the option to do shoulder ties. If you are a person that is petite framed and you don't have a big bum, you could actually omit the zipper and just step into this jumpsuit based off of the way that it is drafted. I believe that this pattern was drafted for someone that is more curvy on the bottom, so it has a bigger bottom, because the back pieces of the jumpsuit are much wider than the front pieces of the jumpsuit. So I don't have a very big bottom, so when I made this jumpsuit, even though it has the invisible zipper, I actually don't have to use it. I just step right into it and tie it up at the shoulders. It is a very cute jumpsuit. It's very lightweight and easy to wear, and again, it definitely is one that shows off Ankara fabric really nicely. And it has really nice deep pockets. So this is one, again, that is easy, that I highly recommend that you give a try. All right, those were my dungaree overall patterns. Now we're moving into jumpsuits. The jumpsuit pattern that I want to mention first is the Butterick B6652. This is what the pattern looks like. And what I like about this pattern is that it is perfect for spring and summer. It has this really great ruffle across the top, and it is an elasticated waist jumpsuit. Another thing that's really cool about this particular pattern is that it has the option to either make a dress that is long or a short dress, or the jumpsuit here in the front. It has pockets, and I think it would be a fantastic pattern for Ankara fabric. I love the option of having that ruffle across the top, and I thought it might be fun to do 2 ruffles instead of just 1. And you could actually use contrasting Ankara fabrics if you wanted to. I just think this is a fun, easy breezy, nice pattern that anybody could make. I haven't made it yet because I did buy the PDF version, not realizing how many pages I would have to basically taped together. It seemed like a very daunting task, so even though I purchased it about a year ago, I never got around to taping this guy together. And it's partly because, like I mentioned before, there are 2 different skirt length portions in this along with the jumpsuit, so it will take me some time to tape this together. I think you might be able to actually find this pattern at Joann's or even on Etsy, so I highly recommend that you look for it because it definitely seems like a very easy, straightforward sew. The next one is McCall M8203. I love this jumpsuit. I haven't made it yet, but I purchased it because I was inspired by some sewing friends. I believe Mimi G made this, as well as I know my friend Talisha of Creativity by T made this, and she made it out of Ankara fabric, and she made a version with the ruffle. So I loved the way her version came out, and she definitely shared that it is definitely an Ankara approved pattern. I like that it has princess seams. Last week, you know, I shared a princess seam dress, and the bodice on that guy just fits so nice and snug to the body, and I just think it would be so flattering in a jumpsuit. This is a wide leg jumpsuit, and it has princess seams in darts in the pants as well. You have an optional waist tie, pockets, puff sleeves, or no sleeves. It does require you to be able to install an invisible zipper, but it is rated as easy. I think this would be a fantastic pattern to use with Ankara fabric, and you can actually have some fun with playing with different prints if you wanted to, because it's princess seamed. Each of these sections of the bodice could be a different Ankara fabric, so you can have some patchwork going, and I think that will be really cool. And it just seems like a perfect outfit to wear for spring and summer, and the fact that it's easy makes me excited to make it, and I can't wait to. And you can make a short version or a long version. Both would be really lovely. The next pattern that I want to share with you is also in the easy category, and it is McCall M7936. I have made this jumpsuit and I love it. I pull it out every spring and summer. I made my version out of a chambray, and it is very basic, having it in one color, but can you imagine how awesome this would be if you had a standout Ankara fabric? It is very easy to put together. It doesn't have a lot of pattern pieces. You have optional pockets to go on the side seams, or you can do patch pockets on the front. I chose to do both in my version, and I love that I did that. It has the optional waist tie. It's super easy to put together. It requires an invisible zipper, and I want to tell you that I wear this guy all the time, and I can tell you for a fact it's very comfortable and cute to wear. You could do some really cool things with Ankara. You could color block. You could have one side of your jumpsuit out of one print and the other side of your jumpsuit out of another print. You could even change up your waist tie and have that a different print. So much fun could be had with this jumpsuit, and I think that if you take the basic pattern that it is and just play with your fabric choices, it would definitely be elevated with Ankara. I highly recommend this pattern. The next 2 patterns I would say are more average, and that is because they require a bit more than the easy patterns. For the next 2 patterns, there are buttons, and for one of them, I want to say that there is also a hook closure. So let's start with this one. This is Simplicity S8907. I have been super eager to sew this up since I purchased this last year. I've had ideas about making it out of denim, out of chambray, and out of corduroy, but it just dawned on me recently that this would be fantastic in Ankara fabric. Some of the options that it suggests are batiks, chalets, chambrays, cotton types, gauze, lightweight denims, lightweight linens, poplins, and silky types. Ankara would be fantastic. As you see, it requires about 5 buttons on the bodice piece of it. You can do short sleeve or long sleeve. You can have pockets on the front, or you can omit the pockets, which I think I would not put pockets on the front because I would want to keep the option to have a nice large Ankara print scale on the front of the bodice. You could even make a dress, long or short, with this pattern, which is very cool. And you have the option to make a belt. This does have an elasticated waist, which means it will be really comfortable. I think it would be really great to make this out of Ankara fabric. Just like the other patterns I mentioned, you could do some really cool color blocking, or you could just pick a print that just would be knockout and elevate this. I think it's going to be one of my favorite things to sew if this pattern is actually drafted well. I could definitely see myself wearing this jumpsuit in lots of different fabrics and prints. So again, I think this would be really great. And also I want to mention that the sleeve is grown on. It is not a separate piece to the pattern. So that makes it a quicker sew. Can't wait to make this, and I think that you might like it in Ankara as well. The next pattern is more of a utility suit, but I would say it's a more feminine utility workwear suit. And the reason why I say that is because it is more fitted to the body than your typical utilities jumpsuit. So this is McCall M7330, and this is what it looks like. It has lots of different options on this guy, which I love every single one of them. I've had this pattern for a long time and haven't had an opportunity to sew it yet, but I think it would be great in Ankara fabric. You have the option of doing shorts or pants, long sleeve or short sleeve or no sleeve. You can put pockets on the chest, or you can just do back pockets. It has 2 different pocket options so that all your pockets could be different if you wanted them to be. I think it's fantastic. The option to have a regular collar or a mandarin collar really intrigues me because you could make several different versions of this jumpsuit and it would look different every time. I really like the simple lines of it, and you could definitely make this pattern stand out by picking a cool Ankara fabric. I think this pattern is very cool and that I would enjoy wearing this, and I have several different Ankara prints that I think would be really cool in this jumpsuit. So I highly recommend this one. And again, I think that this one leans more on the average to intermediate side. And I do want to point out that it does require a hook and eye closure at the waist of the pants, and you have optional belt loops. So really cool pattern that you could definitely make different versions to change it up a bit, and I think that it would be standout in Ankara. The last intermediate pattern that I want to share with you is actually a paper cut pattern, and this is the Shereé jumpsuit. Let me give you a close-up. I love this because it has some really cool details. It has this really great crossover front that ties on the side. It has nice deep pockets. It has bust starts. It has an invisible zipper. You can make it a wide leg pant or a tapered leg, or you can make it a little romper. I like that it seems to be really straightforward, and I would absolutely wear it the way the model is wearing it, with either a long sleeve fitted shirt, or I would wear it with a turtleneck. And I think it would be fantastic for Ankara. I have an idea on how you can elevate this jumpsuit by doing color block with Ankara. I think that you could take this crossover front wrap piece here and this leg here and make it out of the same print of fabric, and then use a totally different Ankara fabric or even a solid fabric that you have in your stash for the opposite side. So it'll be diagonal, that this side is one print and this side is another print. I think that would be so cute. And then you can also match it on the back, or it can be a totally different fabric on the back. So anyways, I think it would be a cool project to put together, and definitely nice and easy for Ankara fabric. The last pattern that I want to share with you is the most challenging one of the bunch, and that is the Blanca flight suit by Closet Core Patterns. Now, I bought this a few years ago for my sister because I was making her a jumpsuit for her birthday, and she ended up picking a different pattern altogether. So this guy hasn't been opened yet, and I've been eager to give it a try. Now, upon first looking at it, I would not have selected Ankara fabric because I only saw versions that had the heavy-duty hardware on it. I'm going to give you a close-up look so you can see what I'm talking about. On the front pockets here, you have the option of doing some zippers. Also, you have a heavy-duty zipper here in the front. Now, I really got to thinking about it, and I thought, you know, I like the way it looks with the heavier weight fabric. What if I combined, say, a denim or a twill with Ankara fabric? So you could actually have the base pieces, the fronts, legs, and you know, the bodice pieces, all of that could be made out of a twill or denim. But then you could use Ankara for all of the embellishing. So your pockets could all be Ankara pockets. If you do the option to cinch in the ankles with a loop, tie, or button closure, you can actually use Ankara fabric for that piece. You can actually line the bottom of the pants as well as the bottom of the sleeves so that you can roll up the bottoms of the pants and sleeves to reveal some Ankara fabric underneath. There's lots of different ways that you can play with Ankara. Using this pattern, you can do Ankara on the collar. I just think you could have so much fun doing it that way. Or if you wanted to do the whole thing out of Ankara fabric and just use lighter weight hardware, you can do that as well. You would just get your typical sewing zippers rather than using the jean or denim heavy duty zippers when constructing this jumpsuit. And again, you could do some color blocking with that as well. But I think that this would be a really fun jumpsuit or aviator suit, flight suit to wear. So this is the last pattern that I'm suggesting for this particular garment. I hope you enjoyed the selections that I picked from my stash. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also, head over to Creativity by T's channel and check out the patterns that Talisha has selected for this garment. The next episode in the series will be on April 25th, and on that episode, Talisha and I will be revealing the patterns that we selected and our finished garments for this category. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a fantastic day and a wonderful week. Talk to you soon. Bye.